Hello everyone. So recently I bought an Iscorama Pre 36 and I got it at a really good price because it had a lot of fungus in it. The lens is in very good condition, no scratches. Also the outside body, the plastic is in very good condition. The only caveat was that it had a lot of fungus in it. And eventually I managed to clean it. Everything is perfect. And the problem was that I wasn't really finding the resources to see how to open up the lens, you could find a lot of videos in which they show you how to clean a lens that has a lot of fungus in it, but you couldn't find anything for this specific Iscorama. And this is why I thought to myself to repeat the process, basically to disassemble the lens and then reassemble it so that everyone can see it. And if you have any problems with your lens, then you can clean it this way. So I hope you enjoyed the video and let's get into it. So this is the lens that I will be disassembling. For this I need this small screwdriver, pair of tweezers, a pencil, black marker, this suction cup. You also need some pressurized air to clean the lens, maybe some lighter fluid, some lens cleaning fluid, grease to grease the helicoid. And when you are greasing the helicoid, you don't just spray it on. You put it in a small container like this, and then you put it on the helicoid. You don't want to make a mess. And depends on how dirty your lens is, maybe you also need some alcohol. Okay, so let's get into it. First of all, you need to put it on perfect infinity. See, this is now on perfect factory infinity. It also has a hard stop to it. Then you take out these 4 screws with the screwdriver. Watch out for the glass. It has to have a magnetic screwdriver or magnetic tweezers so that the screws don't fall onto the glass. Now, without turning the plastic part, so you don't turn it, because then you will you lose the perfect infinity. Just lift it up. Maybe you need to pull it a little bit from side to side. Now it comes off, you see? And now you mark the infinity point. So basically you take the pencil, you do not turn this lens, then you mark, you do here a mark like this, so that you know exactly where the infinity is. Good. And now, when you are putting this back, putting it back like this, you will have the perfect factory infinity. Now you can unscrew this. This is it. This is the first part. This is the helicoid from inside. If you want to re-grease it, you just need to clean it. Just be careful not to touch the lens. You can also take it further apart I will make a whole strip down of this lens. Now, to turn it around, you need to take off this ring. But to do this, you need an even smaller screwdriver. I had to file mine down because it was too wide. And you need to loosen this small screw here. So you loosen it. Mine is already loose. And then you just unscrew this ring. It should go easy once you unscrewed that small screw. Okay, this came off. Put it to the side, and then you can take off this metal from the back. You press these two buttons, and then you can take it out very easy. You need to pay attention because here is a spring. You can jump out. But with a little bit of care, you can take out these buttons, and then you take out this spring. If you want to further disassemble the lens, then you just need to push the whole lens block out of this plastic. Basically, you push in that direction. You hold it firm and you push it without dropping it. See, like this. Now you can take it out. This is also very important to do if you want to disassemble the anamorphic block, because after cleaning it you have to realign it. And this way you can also clean the helicoid really nicely. Mine doesn't have now any grease on it, but I will grease it when I reassemble the lens. So now, let's take out this front piece here. You can also use a lens wrench. I don't have one right now, so I'm using this screwdriver. You just unscrew it like this. Pay attention not to touch the glass. Then you can just take it out. Like this. This is now just the anamorphic block. Mine is a little bit chipped here in this side, because I didn't know how to take it out. And I chipped it accidentally. But it's not visible on the image. So if now you want to take out the anamorphic block, you need to loosen these screws here around. For this you need the flat screwdriver. You just take them out a little bit. Hoppa. Okay, so now theoretically the anamorphic block should come out. Just shake it a little bit and it should come out. it's not coming out, then we need to unscrew these screws a little bit further. Don't need to take them out, just unscrew them, because they have like a point that's holding in the lens. You'll see it in a second. Okay, now it should come out. Yes. This is it. This is basically the whole lens disassembled. It also has this small little gasket. This is the anamorphic block. As you can see, it has absolutely no mold in it, fungus on it anymore. Now, before reassembling it, let me just dust it out a little bit more. Put back this metal gasket. Don't forget it. Okay. Now I'm just making sure that there's absolutely no dust on the lens. Now I'm putting it back. My bad. Let us do it this way. Okay. Now the lens is back in its place. Now you can retighten these screws, and afterwards you don't tighten them very hard, because this needs to be rotatable, because we need to align the anamorphic block. For this we need the camera. You just tighten them as much so that the lens does not fall out. Good. Now we need to realign it. For this, we need to be able to attach it to the camera or to the lens. I am using the original 50mm lens that came with this anamorphic lens. So for this, we need to put back this piece, putting it back here, putting back this ring, you don't need to pull it tight, just enough so that it stays. And now you can screw it back into the original housing. You align it so that it's straight, and then basically what you need to do is mount the camera. I will go outside and you will see the footage directly from the camera. So basically I will have it on a tripod. I align the anamorphic so that it's straight, and then so these screws are not tightened. So basically the anamorphic block can be rotated, you see. I'm basically looking through the camera, because this here is now on perfect infinity. The anamorphic block is normally set on perfect infinity, because you are focusing with the focus module. The taking lens is at infinity, and also the anamorphic block is at infinity. So theoretically you need to have a perfect infinite image, a clear image. But now the anamorphic block is not online, so you just look through the camera and you turn this anamorphic lens from the front until the image is sharp, crisp sharp. And when it's sharp, then you stop and you just tighten these screws so that it's not moving anymore. And then you reassemble the lens. So let me do this and I'll be back. Good. So now what I'm doing is I'm trying to align the anamorphic so that it's stretching the image vertically as it should. And now I'm putting the front of my screwdriver to the front of the lens, the first anamorphic block, and I'm rotating it now to the left, now to the right, and as you can see, now it's clear, and the anamorphic is also not aligned properly, so now I'm aligning it, and basically now I'm punching into the image. I'm giving it a little bit of zoom so that I can see in more detail, and I'm just slightly turning this front element from side to side until I achieve the perfect focus, and then I'm just tightening those screws. Like this, you see? You just punch into the image maybe 2 times, and then here in the front you just rotate this lens from side to side until you achieve the perfect focus. I need both of my hands for this, but I just showed you so that you can see the procedure. Good. So now that we have aligned the anamorphic block, we can put the lens back together. So let me just dust it off one more time. This is the second element. Make sure that it doesn't have any dust on it. I just can't stand seeing dust inside of my clean lenses. Put it in. Good. Now just gently screw it in. Good. Now I'm just applying a little bit of pressure so that it's really tight. And if you see that you left some marks on the metal, then you can just take the black marker and paint it over, that it's nice and black as it was before. Good. Now let us put back this plastic part. The most easiest way to put it back is to put on the helicoid. Now you just don't need to pay attention how you put it on, just give it half a turn maybe, and then you can hold it much easier. And you see this groove here? This plastic part comes exactly on that groove, so it's no way to put it back anywhere else. So you align it like that, and then you just need to push it in. And this is where you put back the helicoid, So you can put it down, and then you just push it in until it goes in as uniformly as possible. Good. Now it's perfectly in its place. Now we need to take out this helicoid because I want to grease it a little bit before putting it back. Let me just take aside this lens. And now let me just put a little bit of grease here. And now you apply a little bit of grease to the helicoid, like this, all the way around. You don't need to use much, and it's enough to put it on here in the beginning of the helicoid, because as it goes in, it will lubricate the whole helicoid, and this way you also don't get close to the lens. Good. I already had it greased before, so I don't have to put a lot of grease on it. I just wanted to show you. I just wipe off the excess. Good. Now we can put back the helicoid that was dusted down. I just can't stand to see dust on my clean lenses. In my clean lenses. And one thing I forgot to tell you in the beginning is that you also mark where you take out the helicoid. You see, I made 2 marks there, basically there. And now it is going back exactly the way it was when I took it out. So basically when you are taking it out, you pull it slightly towards you, and when it comes out, put it back. And you take a pencil and make a mark on the plastic and on the metal. So you know exactly how you took it out, so that you put it back exactly in the same place, so that the infinity mark that you made before is also aligned as it was, like this. And now I just find the starting point so that it goes in. It's a little bit fiddly, but yes, this is it. Perfect. And as you can see, the infinity, it goes a little bit past infinity, but it's normal like this. Good. So now I put this mark, the infinity mark, back here to this point where I marked it, and now I can put back the front cover. When you put back the front cover, just align the infinity mark with the mark that you made, and you just push it in. When you are pushing it in, you need to pay attention not to turn the lens. Good. Now it's in its place. Now we need to put back those 4 screws. Let me just put them back quickly. It's best to use a magnetic screwdriver for this. Mine is not magnetic. It's a pain in the ass to put back these small screws. You don't tighten them right away. And I gotta be honest with you, I also had a cup of coffee too much today. So the precision in my hands is not as it should be. Oh, come on. Two more to go. You don't tighten these screws right away, just after you put back all 4 screws, because you don't want to break the plastic. Because this plastic is very old, and to be honest with you, I thought that it will be more brittle than it actually is. It's actually in a very good condition. At least this unit. But nevertheless, you need to pay attention, not to force it. After reassembling this lens, I will basically disassemble it again. I mean, just the plastic parts. These plastic parts, I will take them down in order to measure them, and I want to make a metal rehousing. Okay, so now we can tighten these screws. You don't need to tighten them very hard. Just when you feel that it's gripping the plastic, then it's enough. Good. Now if you see, the focus ring is turning smoothly and the markings align perfectly. The infinity with the 2 meter mark. Good. Now let us put back the other parts. Let's start with the spring. You see this part here? The spring, these 2 parts of the spring come exactly there. Like this. The buttons with the lens facing you like this, these buttons have these grooves on the top. They come towards you, so on the top, because this metal piece, you can see these gears from inside, and this is basically gripping onto that. This is why the lens is stopping when you let go of the button. This is why it's not turning once you aligned it. Now this is a little bit tricky. Put back these buttons without the spring jumping out, but it's manageable. Just need to pay attention. Good. Now they are in place. I'm putting back this metal piece. And if you see, you can't push it in without pressing the buttons. Now you press these buttons, and then it goes into place. And now I can put back this ring. But before putting back this ring, you see there's a small hole there. Let me just show you. There's a small hole there, and this screw that you unscrewed before, this will go exactly in that hole. So to know where that hole is, just make a mark with the pencil Good. And once you screw this in, you know exactly where the hole is, because you don't need to tighten this ring, because if you tighten it, then it will not turn as it should. You see, it is already tightening, so I unloosen it a little. This, and here is the hole. And once I screw this screw in, it should go exactly into that hole. Good. Now if I want to turn it, it's not turning because it's basically blocked. And now this is it. This is the reassembled lens. You press this like this. You see that this is turning, so basically you can adjust it, you can align it. I just need to put back the front ring, and this is it. Let me show you. And put it back on the original 50mm lens. This, and now if I push this, push the buttons, I can align the anamorphic. When I let it go, it's fixed in its place. The focus is working perfectly. This is basically it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this information was helpful for you if you decide to open up your lens. So this is the Iscorama Pre 36. The normal 36 has a bigger back element, and this ring is a little bit smaller. From what I know, that's the bigger difference, and it also has some different coatings. So this was it. I hope you enjoyed the video and found this information useful. If you have any opinions, please leave them in the comment section, or if you have any suggestions for the rehousing, then also please leave them in the comment section. Basically what I'm going to do is just replace the plastic with the metal. No fancy things. Okay, so this is it. So that was the disassembly and reassembly. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you're wondering why it was so noisy, it's because I'm in a projection room, and this is basically the background noise of the projection room. Let me quickly show you around. These are two projectors. This is an old one that was uncommissioned. This is also a new one. And I also have an old 35mm projector. These are the Platar systems, and this is the old 35mm projector. Look at those beauties there. Good. Bye.